You are listening to High Heels and High Chairs, voted the best online resource for busy moms who wish to stay strong, sexy, and centered in a world of spit up and sippy cups. Whether you're a new mom, a grandmom, a future mom, or somewhere in between, you'll love these priceless tips, tricks, and tools you will learn today. Here is your host, top female fat loss and hormone specialist, Dr. Michelle Sands.
Hi, and welcome back to High Heels and High Chairs. I'm your host, Dr. Michelle Sands, and today we are talking with Jessie Brisendine. Jessie is an internationally recognized life coach, personal trainer, speaker, and author. He teaches people how to live a happier, more fulfilling life, and he's super passionate about helping people realize their greatest potential so that they can be successful in business, relationships, health, and life. Jessie, welcome to the summit. I'm so excited to have you here.
Hi, Michelle, and I have to tell you, thank you so much for having me, and your summit name is probably my favorite title I've ever heard of.
Well, I'm right in the midst of the spit up and sippy cups. My son is 11 months old, and I work with a ton of moms, and we are all kind of in the same boat. We want to be strong, we want to be sexy, we want to be healthy, we want to be hot, but we also want to be great moms. So it's kind of like there's a guilt there, there's this urge to do it all and to give, and not to take any time for ourselves. So that's kind of what this is all about. Learning how to, balance it all and to take care of ourselves so that we can take better care of our children. Because ultimately, our children do what we do, not necessarily what we say. So they're watching us
Absolutely.
all the time. So if we're happy, we're healthy, we're doing what makes our hearts sing, basically, they're going to do the same thing. So that's kind of what we want to model for them. And that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to bring you on, because you are kind of a master at living that life full of passion and health and, inspiring other people to do that. So just for people who have not heard of you, can you give a little background on kind of your story, how you got to where you are today and what your philosophy is?
Yeah, I'll try to give you the condensed version. I grew up in small town USA, population 8,000 people or so, and wasn't not a lot of inspiration up there, not a lot of expectation to really, grow and do anything, and moved away from school, and I spent most of my teens and early 20s as probably the shyest, most insecure person you'd ever meet. I mean, I can remember a girl tapping me on the shoulder one time in psychology class, asking me a question about the homework, and I skipped red and pink and went straight to purple.
Oh no!
And it wasn't the pretty purple. It was the full on sweat purple. And needless to say, she never sat next to me anymore again in psychology after that. I think she was probably a little weirded out, but that's who I was. And I was able to first start working after school as a personal trainer, and I had some really tragic and traumatic life experiences happen, and they put me at that crossroads, that proverbial crossroads in life that I think everybody comes to at some point, where you realize that you have a choice, and if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to end up where you've always gone, or you got to start doing some things a little differently. And as scary as that might be, that's where the growth comes. That's where the potential lies, and it really, those instances really brought me to that place where I could start digging in and really start nurturing those parts of myself and figuring out what it was that really excited me, what really lit me up, why I was put on this earth, and what it was to do. And fast forward to today, and a lot of life later, and here we are talking now.
Awesome. Well, yeah, you've done some phenomenal things. Like you've written a book. You've worked with people of all different walks of life, Hollywood celebrities, entrepreneurs, moms, whoever it might be, and you've just been so inspiring. And to look at your picture, everyone's looking at your picture right now, and you would never guess that you were that shy little boy in class there.
Oh yeah.
So you really made a total turnaround, and I know there's some people listening who might relate more to the little shy boy than they do to Mr. Life Coach, personal trainer, entrepreneur. And that's why I wanted to bring you on, because you understand both sides of the coin. And you talked about the difficult part. It talks about getting out of your comfort zone, and it's easier said than done. And when you're in, those tragic things happen. You have depression. You have, it seems like the world's against you. How did you? What was the catalyst that made you understand that you had to do something different?
Yeah, I think, Michelle, everybody, what you're saying is, the two sides of the coin. I think everybody has a natural nature, and mine's definitely shy. When I'm in my downtime, I like to be mellow, hang out with a few people, watch a movie. It's the complete opposite of where I am in professionally, or if I'm on stage presenting. It's a completely different dynamic, and I think learning to nurture both parts of, all those parts of ourselves. It's just the same as, I know lots of moms are listening right now. You're nurturing your children in different phases of life, right? You're nurturing them when they do well. You're nurturing them when they fall down. You're nurturing them when they have those successes and they feel those losses. And I think somewhere along the line we forget that we're born into this nurturing environment where such a focus is on nurture, but then we somehow lose the focus of nurturing ourselves. And for me, when it was really about going through and shifting through everything and making changes, I started to really look at what parts of myself do I not nurture? And that's usually where I think we bury so much of our pain.
Yeah.
Societally, whatever, I don't know whose brilliant idea was years and years ago to start teaching us that to bury all of our pain was the right way to handle stuff. Yeah, I was reading an article the other day where it was suggested, the CDC was suggesting that as much as 85% of diseases have some sort of emotional influence in it. Negative emotional influence. And there was a study done by a German doctor who contracted cancer after going through a traumatic experience, and he went back and researched every single one of his cancer patients. The one common thing he found in each and every one of them was they went through some sort of significant emotional trauma before they got their disease. And
yeah, you know what? That's so true. I mean, stress on the body. Your body can't tell the difference between imagined dangers that you're just thinking about in your head and you actually being in danger. So it's like physiological changes that happen. Your pH, your body changes, your blood starts pumping, you start pumping out different hormones than you normally would have. Yep. So I can totally, I'm a doctor, so that's kind of a lot of what I teach to people. And you're right, a lot of my patients that come through my office, their health issues are a result of some type of emotional event that may have happened recently or may have happened in their childhood that they're carrying around with them. So that's huge.
Yeah, and they've learned to bury it, and some of us, we bury it unconsciously. We don't even realize we're burying it because you have all these things going on. So many moms now are they're under such pressure of they have to do everything, right? They have to be mom, but they also have to be super career woman. And then they also have to be super fit, and they also have to be, super everything. And in that, there's not a lot of time to be super nurturing for themselves. And
no,
it's so tragic because that starts to, that's one of the things that kicks off the dominoes falling, so to speak, right? And at some point when we reach the end of those dominoes falling, that's where the implosion happens. Somebody gets really sick. Somebody gets so overwhelmed or so burnt out or so, you can fill in the blank afterwards, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and that's what I see. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I did this event was because you're exactly right. We're nurturing everybody and taking care of everyone and everything that we kind of forget to take care of ourselves, or, we feel guilty if we do because we have to do all these things. We put these ridiculous expectations on ourselves as moms that we have to do everything. And then we don't have the energy or the time or the, wherewithal to take care of ourselves. And, eventually those are the people that end up in my office with some type of, chronic condition that's hurting their health. And then they're also, it causes depression, it causes resentment to the very people that you were doing it all for. And, we don't want that to happen. And so part of nurturing yourself is doing stuff that you enjoy and doing things that make you happy. But I often have conversations with people when I'm pretty conversational. I'm Italian from New York, so I could strike up a conversation with anybody. I get that from my mom.
I know some Italians from New York.
So my point is that sometimes I'll be in the grocery store in line, or waiting for something in an office waiting room, and I'll strike up a conversation with people who are in there with me, and I'll be like, hey, so if you could do anything today, if it was like a free day, what would you do? Like, what do you love to do? And I can't tell you how many people just are stumped by that question. And I just think it's like a fun question instead of like, what's your favorite color? What's your sign? And like, what do you love to do? 'Cause that's interesting to me. But so many people do not know what they love to do. And I think it's a result of the fact, we're just like running from one task and obligation to the next, that we don't ever take the time to do what we love to do. And so I think not doing what you love to do could be a huge problem in nurturing yourself, because you don't ever do what makes you happy. And the reason why I bring that up is because what I love that you've done is this 1,000 challenge that you put together, where for 1 year you did 1,000 new things. And I'd love for you to tell the audience a little bit more about that. And the reason why I bring that up is because by doing all those things, I think it's almost impossible to not know what you love to do and what you don't love to do.
Yeah, and that was that 1,000 challenge, Michelle, came from the result of me getting to that point where all my dominoes fell. I realized I wasn't nurturing myself. I had, in the space of a few months, I had one of my closest friends committed suicide. Then my dad just died really suddenly, and I had, so much of my stuff I had buried because, getting caught up in the race of life, you never stop to nurture those wounds fully. And I realized that I needed to make some significant changes. I had to start taking care of myself. And I was like so many people. I didn't, beyond a couple of things like exercise, I didn't really know what it was that I really, truly found my joy in. And I chose 1,000 for two reasons. One, the biggest obstacles people will have to change, right, are time and money. It's the ones we hear all the time that come up. I don't have time. I don't have money. I can't afford it. I can't afford it. I can't afford the time. I can't afford the money. So I wanted to do 1,000 because I felt like if I did 1,000, one, it kind of overshot the challenge of time, right? Because to do 1,000, you have to figure out a way to make the time thing work. And this wasn't. I'm going to take off on a year-long bucket list challenge or anything. I had to working full time, starting my own business, all these types of things, writing a book. And my goal was to try to find as many free things as possible, so money didn't become a factor in it too. Because I really wanted to try to be a model for people about what was possible. And what I found, I did some really cool stuff, some really like once in a lifetime stuff. I did some really simple stuff. What I found brought me some of the greatest joy was really finding a way to enjoy simple things. Just taking 5 minutes in the morning to go watch the sunrise, taking 5 minutes at night to just sit still and watch the sunset. I fell in love with photography, and I'm known to, if I look up in the morning and I see the slightest bit of cool sunrise potential, I go into full geek out mode, grab the cameras, wherever I can to get it set up, and my whole morning will stop. So, but those are the things that I found brought me the greatest joy, and it's something that we all have the sky. And if you don't have a camera, most of us have cameras on our cell phones right now. And it was just such a simple thing that to do that really, it nurtured a part of me. It got me out in nature. It forced me to be still. It gave you time to reflect, all those types of things.
So this is 1 year, and you did 1,000 things that you'd never done before, right? That was the premise of it? And then out of that, you created a challenge where other people were doing the same thing. And can you tell us a little bit how that worked?
Yeah, so as it started to kind of pick up some steam and people were finding it on Facebook, we started to do cool community events. There's people all over the world, and so some of the ones we did a international trash cleanup day where there was hundreds of people from all over the world volunteered an hour of their time to pick up trash in the local community. My favorite one we did was, as I alluded to just a minute ago, I have a affinity for sunrises and sunsets, and we did a day called International Sunrise Sunset Day, where people from all over the world shared a picture of the sunrise or sunset from wherever they were in the world that time. And it was so neat. We had I think people from 15 or 20 different countries and 30 different states sent in photos, and that event now has grown to, I think this last year I've done it 4 years in a row now, hosted it. I think we had 87 countries. We had all 7 continents, even Antarctica. There was a research organization on Antarctica that sent in a sunrise photo. And so, there was literally thousands of sunrise and sunset photos shared. And it's so much fun to see people just come together to stop to do that. And everybody writes in almost the same thing. They say this, I never knew I could connect to myself so much just by taking a few minutes. I never knew that stillness or stopping to appreciate beauty, the natural beauty, would mean so much to me. And I think that's such an important tidbit for moms is just, you don't need to find a lot of time. We're not talking about hours here. It's just those couple key moments. Those couple key moments to really center in on yourself and connect to something that lifts you up, that lets you smile, that you can feel yourself relaxed in. So just to go outside and breathe in some fresh air and look up at the sky and just see things, it makes such a huge difference.
Yeah, that's huge. There's something special about the sunrise and the sunset. It actually makes you feel a sense of appreciation, gratitude for the day, and I love that the whole world came together to do that. That's just amazing.
Yeah.
But I also like what you said is that you found this passion for photography, and I don't know that you would have known that had you not gone out and on this challenge for yourself to do all these different things and realize that you like photography. So if I would have asked you what you love to do before this, you might not have said photography. You might have said working out or something like that. And that's great, but it's not something that is something you can do just any time. You can't wake up and
exactly.
Well, you can wake up and work out, but it almost takes a minute. And you're not breaking a sweat, and it's something you can fit into your day and also use it to inspire other people. And posting your photos, you inspired so many other people to do the same, and that's what I really think that it takes practice. It takes a little bit of research into your own soul to find that thing that you're passionate about. But once you do, it can bring you so much joy. So you're a life coach and you work with a lot of people. Do you ever come across people that don't know what they're passionate about, and then how do you help them to figure that out?
Yeah, believe it or not, Michelle, that's probably, I would say, top 3 things I see with people. That's probably right up there in top 3. And
wow,
there's people, kind of like the question you were saying, you ask people in the grocery store or something. People will get that blank look on their face because they become so entranced on what they think they're supposed to do or how they think life is supposed to run. Where I see one of the groups, believe it or not, that I see the biggest challenge is I see it in moms whose kids are getting ready to leave the nest because they
that's sad. That's when you realize that you don't know what you love.
Yeah, it's a big one. It's because their whole purpose in life was about bringing their kids up, right? And they did it, they fulfilled it, but all of a sudden now they're hitting that point where their kids are getting ready to turn and old enough to take off on their own, and they still have 40 years of life ahead of them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what, whenever I run across those types of people, I always say, you gotta take that time to figure out for yourself. And one of the exercises I have people do, which it's a really simple exercise anybody can do, is set a timer on your phone, and for 10 minutes, or set a timer for 10 minutes, write down everything that you can think of. And you have to write for the entire 10 minutes. It's not you get to 4 minutes and you say, oh, okay, I got enough. This is you write until the phone goes off, and you write down everything that you can think of that excites you, that makes you smile, that makes you laugh, that makes you happy, that makes you, elicits a positive emotion inside of you, and that inspires you, that motivates you. Because what it does is it just brings it to awareness, and you can be as specific or as generalized with it as you want because it's your list. And then after your 10 minutes goes up, what you want to do is you want to go back and review your list and circle the ones that really produce a stronger emotional charge. which ones bring a bigger smile to your face? Which ones produce more happiness inside of you? And you ask yourself a simple question: what can I do that will allow me to experience this? What can I do that will allow me to experience this? And I encourage everyone to, when they ask that question, think small, meaning what can you do that is easily available? It doesn't require packing up, traveling across a country, traveling across an ocean, because a lot of times people will say, when I'm on vacation, I'll be able to do this, right? This isn't about going on vacation. This is about just being deliberate about what is it that you can do now, today, a couple minutes, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it is, that allows you to experience all those emotions.
Yeah, I mean, it could be as easily as like you having a cup of your favorite tea, or, or the smell of your favorite tea, or something like. And that, like doing those little things, and that's what I kind of like to teach my patients to do, especially the ones who are having, stress is one of their major problems that's leading to their health problems. What I like to tell them to do is even just like take a 5-minute break away from, your kids are not going to die. You're going to be fine unless you have like a 1-week-old. You don't want to leave them alone. But even if you just like go into your bedroom, close the door, and play a video game on your phone, or listen to your favorite song, or you need to take time for yourself. And no matter what it is that you're doing, and if you, like, I love going off of Jesse's thing, or if you try to do something different every day, you're going to find those things that you love. I mean, I have patients that they love to paint, or they love to draw, or they like to dance, and these are things that they just did not give themselves time for. And like you said, like where moms are nurturing, and you don't have to wait till the kids grow up and then get ready to go to college. Like, you can start it now, and then what's going to happen is your kids are going to see you doing things that you enjoy, and they're going to want to do things that they enjoy too. And, that's, as moms, there's nothing more that we want than to set our kids up with a, happy, healthy, successful, and confident life. And there's no better way to do that than to be those things yourself and be a role model. So, that's why I feel like this topic is even more important for moms than for anybody else, because, you're setting up how your child is going to grow up as well. And, we all have struggles, and they'll have struggles too, but you can kind of like set them up to be able to be more resilient and just better adjusted in the long run. Yeah,
I love that word, what you're saying too, is the role model. It's so true. And a lot of times I think people get so caught up in the role model of making it these, certain standards that they miss some of the simple stuff. Be the role model for smiling. Be the role model for happiness. Be the role model for laughter. Be the role model for, I think parents so often they get so caught up on the big things that society says. They try to be the role model for not swearing around their kids. Well, inevitably the kids are going to start swearing. That's just, but, and,
I'm surprised a lot of my old Paxton isn't swearing yet.
Yeah.
Just hoping it's not his first word.
Yeah. But you can just be the role model of smiles, be the role model of happiness, be the role model of joy. I saw this great video the other day. One of the things I encourage people to do is involve their kids in some of their hobbies, their passions, so they can see them truly happy. And it was this video of a mom who, I think she had 2 or 3 kids that were probably anywhere from 2 to 4 years old. She was incorporating them all in her workout, and it was so cool. Go down and do a push-up, and then she'd hold it at the top, and one of the kids would crawl through her legs. She'd go down and do another one, and the kids would crawl through. And what was remarkable about it is you saw each and every one of the kids smiling and laughing because it was just playtime for them.
Right.
So to teach your kids early on that playtime can be these other things, and that you have playtime too, and that you can play together, I think it's such a great gift that you can share with your children.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that right there is really something valuable. It really deserves thinking about. Really taking the time and instead of going and buying a new toy or driving to some special place to keep your kids occupied. Even helping them. We talked with another guest who is a cooking expert, and even getting in the kitchen and preparing a meal. Or incorporating it into your workout, or even sometimes my son's only 11 months old, so he can't really talk with me. But sometimes I have work to do, or I'll have to read a research paper, and I will actually sit there with him, and I will read it as if it's, Dr. Seuss, but instead it's, clinical research study.
So awesome.
He doesn't know. But he, and he's, who knows, he might be like a prodigy in a few years because he knows all this clinical research that he's absorbing. But the point is that,
yeah.
But the point is that instead of sticking him in the playpen or, trying to get him to just do something on his own while I read this, I just read it out loud with him, and he just thinks it's hysterical. Of course, I have to do the little voices and stuff. But, and then when I'm trying to remember things, I remember them in the Dr. Seuss voice or something. But the point is that, just including your kids in whatever you're doing is it's fun for you and it's fun for them. And that's just, you have to be creative about it sometimes. And sometimes it's just super simple. It's doing what you're already going to do. And sometimes it's doing, getting out of your comfort zone and doing something new. And that's, so that's kind of the point of this all is, find what you're passionate about, have fun. And life should be fun and life should be enjoyable. And we have to let that happen.
Absolutely. I think when you find that passion, the greatest gift that any parent can ever give their kids is to share their joy with the kid, because I think sometimes as parents, people get so forgetful about what it was like for them as kids. It's exciting to go to Disneyland. Yeah, it's exciting to do those things, and there's moments like that, but they're gone, and most of us don't remember those memories. We remember the emotion that we have around certain experiences. We can remember those times where we felt really loved. We can remember those times where we saw our parents really happy, or we saw our parents really sad, and again, going back to this whole thing about parents, you're the role model, you're the standard that a child sets for themselves going forward. If you set a standard of joy, you set a standard of living, finding a thing you're passionate about, and experiencing and living your joy every day. Gosh, that's I think every parent I ask, every parent I've ever talked to, so I'll say, what's the most important thing for your kids? They'll all say the same thing, that they grow up healthy and happy.
Yeah.
Show them happiness. Being a real example for happiness. And like, I love that example of the research paper, that you could find something like a research paper, and any of us who have ever read a research paper know that they're not as exciting as Dr. Seuss's. But if you can make it Dr. Seuss-esque in excitement, Dr. Seuss-esque in curiosity, right? Dr. Seuss-esque in fun. That's just such I think a beautiful lesson that you can share and teach to your kids. And again, probably the greatest gift you'll ever give them.
Awesome. Well, I feel like I could talk to you all day, but we only have 30 minutes, so I wanted to make sure that we let everybody know about your free gift that you're offering. Actually, it's a free chance to dive a little deeper on this topic or the topic that you're most concerned about with you. So can you tell them a little bit about that session that you're offering?
Yeah. So, Michelle, thank you. What I'm going to do is, just for anybody who wants to take advantage of it, is if you have, we talked a lot about passion today, or discovering your joy, and if you'd like to delve a little deeper into figuring out how to find that passion or joy, or maybe even creating a better balance in the responsibilities of work and motherhood, I'm going to offer everybody who wants to take advantage of it a free complimentary session with me, where we'll be able to dive into that a little deeper and explore it and get you a good game plan for making those things happen in life.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Jesse. That's super valuable. I mean, because when you really think about it, like, what you ultimately want in life more than anything else, sure, you want a good job, and sure, you want a nice house, and you want all these, but what you ultimately want, like you mentioned earlier, to be happy. Like, everybody, that's the ultimate goal. You may be like buying those shoes because you think they're going to make you happy, but what you're really looking for is happiness. And we invest so much money and so much time in so many things that really aren't serving us and really aren't making us happy. So, I mean, if you invest the time to get on that phone and chat with Jesse about, how to find your happiness, how to find your passion and make your life more fulfilled, I mean, I would not pass that up. I think that is possibly the most valuable gift that we're offering in this session is, your ticket to happiness. So thank you, Jesse, so much for that.
Thank you.
Very, very generous of you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Sure. And then for everyone listening, right next to this audio, there's a link to Jesse's website where you can learn more about him, and you can learn more about the 1,000 challenge that we talked about. And then, and Jesse, you have also some events that you hold as well. Can you tell us a little bit about, I think you have one coming up this fall, what you're going to be doing?
Yeah, it's called, I have an event coming up this fall in Santa Barbara, California. That's where I live right now, called Unlock Your Greatness. And basically the name is the intention. We spend 2 full days together going through, just diving in, learning how to master emotions. I take everybody through a process that allows them to release some emotional baggage that they've been carrying around for a long time. It's a really, really powerful process for people, and allows you to come away with just a much clearer understanding of who you are, who other people are. Allows you, I teach a lot of communication skills there to help you become a more effective communicator, which the feedback I've gotten from past ones, again, people say it's amazing how much it changes the game for them in their family dynamics, with both their significant others and with their kids too. And then their kids respond really positively as well too. So that's coming up this fall in Santa Barbara. And yeah, I would love to meet some of you in person if you want to get away. October is our nicest weather usually in Santa Barbara. The venue I have it at is right across the street from the beach, so you can't beat it. You get to go on.
Oh, nice. So you can go look at the sunset too.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Well, Jesse, thank you so much for being here. I really thought this was a great conversation and such an important topic. So thank you so much for taking the time out to be with us today and sharing your knowledge and your passion. So thank you.
Thank you, Michelle, for having me, and it's been an honor to be able to share with everybody. And I absolutely love your title, and I appreciate so much the goodwill you're putting out to the world for doing this. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon. And thank you, everyone, for listening today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this as much as we did. I really encourage you to reach out to Jesse and take advantage of that free session with him. You don't know what you don't know, so you have no idea what it can open up for you. So definitely click on that link, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you received a lot of value out of this interview. I know that I did. I want you to open up to the possibility of making this new year the greatest opportunity that you have had so far to improve your life. This is about breaking out of paradigms. It's about learning the art of living. It is about honoring who you are as a woman as you discover who you are as a mother. It is about taking care of your body, mind, and spirit so that you can take better care of your family and be a shining example, a role model for your children so that they can grow up to be healthy, happy, and successful. I promise to continue to bring you educational, empowering, and inspiring content to help you achieve the body that you dream about and the life that you are meant to live. Stay tuned for more value-packed interviews, and be sure to check out all the resources on my website, metabolicmama.com. Until next time, wishing you a happy, healthy, hot day. Take care, mamas.